In the shattered Hall of Justice, Superman stood alone, not as a symbol of hope, but as something the world had never seen before. 24 hours earlier in Metropolis, Superman still flew above the city. The world still trusted him, and he still trusted everyone. On the rooftop of the Daily, Kent listened as Lois Lane shared her latest investigation.
Clark, this story is huge. It could change everything.
Be careful. Neither of them knew it would be her last story. In a dark Metropolis parking garage, Lois Lane walked alone toward her car. Hidden cameras watched her, and somewhere, someone waited. The explosion tore through the garage in seconds. Concrete collapsed, flames rose, and Lois Lane's heartbeat faded. Superman landed in the burning street of Metropolis. He searched through smoke and debris, but even with all his power, he was too late. In the Batcave beneath Gotham City, Batman studied the explosion footage. The blast pattern wasn't random, it was design. As Batman searched deeper into encrypted files, a classified protocol appeared, a contingency plan for stopping Superman. Inside the Fortress of Solitude, Superman accessed Hidden League archives. He saw years of some worst diamonds. In the silent crystal chamber of the fortress, Superman's eyes began to glow, not from rage, but from a broken trust that could not be repaired. In the Hall of Justice main chamber, no greetings were exchanged, only silence and suspicion. You had a plan for me, Bruce. At the tactical console inside the Hall of Justice, Batman activated a hidden defense protocol. Red sun radiation slowly filled the chamber. Trust cracked in that moment. Under the red sun lights of the Hall of Justice, Superman felt his strength begin to fade.
Wonder Woman stepped between him and Batman. She still believed this could be stopped.
Inside the Hall of Justice chamber, Superman pushed against the red sun radiation. The marble floor cracked beneath his feet. Grief was stronger than the protocol. On the central platform of the Hall of Justice, Flash accelerated towards Superman at full speed, but Superman caught him mid-motion and gently placed him aside. From the upper balcony of the Hall of Justice, Aquaman leapt forward with his trident raised. Superman deflected the strike, and the balcony shattered. In the air above the Hall of Justice chamber, Wonder Woman crossed blades with Superman. She wasn't fighting an enemy. She was fighting a friend lost in pain.
Clark, I know you're in pain.
Against the system's control wall of the Hall of Justice, attempting system override on Red Sun emitter. But Superman's heat vision failed! The light's going out! And the lights flickered out. In the broken main chamber of the Hall of Justice, Batman stood alone before Superman. No gadgets left. Only truth remained. You never trusted me. As the ceiling of the Hall of Justice began to collapse,
I have to get up. The League was
falling. Inside the damaged Hall of Justice, Batman activated a final hologram projection. Lex Luthor appeared on screen, smiling. In the hologram projection inside the Hall of Justice, I detailed the bombing plan, the manipulation, the intended outcome. In the shattered Hall of Justice chamber, Superman lowered his fist. The anger shifted. The real enemy had a name. On the shattered balcony of the Hall of Justice, Aquaman struggled to stand. Arthur Curry's anger had faded. Only concern remained. Among the rubble of the Hall of Justice, Superman looked down at the unconscious Flash. Barry Allen had only tried to help, and Clark finally saw the damage. On the shattered balcony of the Hall of Justice, Aquaman struggled to stand. Arthur Curry's anger had faded. Only concern remained. Lex wanted this. We wanted you to break. Standing in the wreckage of the Hall of Justice, Superman looked at Batman, Wonder Woman, and the fallen team. This wasn't justice. This was exactly what Lex planned. In the partially restored Hall of Justice chamber, Batman stood beside Wonder Woman, Flash, Aquaman, and Cyborg. The League still existed, but trust felt fragile, and rebuilding it would take time. In the partially restored Hall of Justice chamber, Batman stood beside Wonder Woman, Flash, Aquaman, and Cyborg. The League still existed, but trust felt fragile, and rebuilding it would take time. He had calculated the grief, he had calculated the anger, and he had calculated this visit. And slowly, and he smiled without fear. In the center of the LexCorp office floor, Superman, Metropolis trembled, the world stopped breathing. They never trusted you.
You're not a god, Clark. You're a choice.
And that choice still mattered. In the LexCorp penthouse overlooking the city, Superman slowly lowered Lex Luthor back to the ground. His fist unclenched. The anger faded. The hero remained.
You have no idea what you're doing!
Outside LexCorp Tower in Metropolis, police officers played left for the war. Justice had been dusted. Without Crossford had been sorry. Back inside the damaged Hall of Justice, Wonder Woman stood beside Flash and Aquaman.
Cyborg restored partial systems around them. The League was alive.
But something between them had shifted. In the Watchtower medical bay orbiting Earth, Batman looked down at the planet below. He had prepared for Superman's strength, but not for his grief, and that mistake nearly broke everything. On the streets of Metropolis, civilians began rebuilding what had been damaged. They still believed in Superman. They never realized how close the world came to losing its protector. On the rooftop of the Daily Planet, Superman stood where he once stood with Lois Lane. The city lights shimmered below. Grief remained in his chest, but so did responsibility. In the partially restored Hall of Justice chamber, Batman stood beside Wonder Woman. The League still existed, but trust felt fragile, and rebuilding it would take time. I almost became what he wanted. The chamber remained silent, because everyone knew it was true.
Strength isn't never falling. It's choosing to stand again.
And he listened. On a rooftop in Gotham City, Batman watched the skyline in silence. He would always prepare for worst-case scenarios. But this time, he had learned something about trust. As the sun rose over Metropolis, Superman flew across the morning sky once more. The symbol of hope still remained, but it carried scars that made it wiser. Outside the Hall of Justice in the morning light, the Justice League watched Superman flying in the distance. They had faced monsters and gods before, but this battle had been different. It had been personal. Above the skyline of Metropolis, Superman looked down at the world he almost lost. Heroes are not defined by power. They are defined by the choices they make. And this time, he chose hope.